Since American manufacturing entered a long stretch of automation and outsourcing in the late 1970s, every time we've gone through a recession, we've seen factory jobs suffer, and they didn't come back. However, this time is different, and it's fascinating. We're going to break it down and why it's good news. Okay? Since the pandemic recession, okay, American manufacturers have added enough jobs to regain all that they shed and then some. Now, what's different this time is that the gasoline, if you will, the fuel behind this manufacturing recovery, includes pharmaceutical plants, craft breweries, and this is fun, Joe, ice cream makers.
I'm there.
I know. I love some ice cream. Newly created jobs are more likely to be not in the Midwest, where we've seen strong manufacturing jobs. This is very interesting. Now it's in the Mountain West and the Southeast. So this is where we're seeing the greatest growth of manufacturing jobs. Not the Great Lakes and the Midwest is where we've traditionally seen it. I think that's really interesting. I'm glad that we see a recovery in manufacturing jobs, but I will tell you this. I am troubled that it is largely coming from pharmaceutical plants. I think a lot with what's going on in our country has to do with so many freaking drugs we got in our system. I just do. So that pissed somebody off, I'm sure. You'll get over it. American manufacturers cut roughly 1.36 million jobs from February 2020 as COVID shut down much of the economy and really affected manufacturing. But as of last month, they've now added 1.43 million jobs. That's a net gain of 67,000 manufacturing jobs. That's really good news. Now, obviously, COVID disrupted global supply chains. And all of a sudden, American companies had to go, we can't get stuff from China. Forget geopolitical stuff right now. Forget the politics between the United States and China right now. That's not what I'm talking about. Now, that is a factor right now, but back during COVID, it was like China was shut down. They had some very strict COVID policies. It slowed things down tremendously because a lot of U.S. manufacturing is brought out of China. It's just a fact. Well, now you've got increasing tension between China and the U.S. Our governments are in a very frosty relationship right now. It's very tenuous, to say the least. And so you had American companies going, look, we can't rely on just Chinese manufacturing or, quite frankly, any other international company if we've got interruptions and long delays and higher costs. So that's what changed. Delayed deliveries, sky-high shipping prices, and other supply chain issues have encouraged American company CEOs to move production closer to home. Businesses are also beginning to question the wisdom of producing so many goods in China. And so now what has that done? All right, that has created more American jobs. Now, I'm a capitalist. I would never shame any company or CEO from doing international business and cutting their costs. I would never do that. However, geopolitics plus real-time logistics has created a boon for American manufacturing and the American manufacturing worker, and it comes down to this. America should hire Americans. First and foremost, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's create good manufacturing jobs. It's there. It's possible. And so what we're seeing is manufacturing companies are not just raising wages, but they're giving job flexibility, better benefits, things of that nature to lure workers. Now, let's look at, since manufacturing jobs are up, what are the jobs that employers still can't fill? This is very interesting. No shock, it's in hospitality and service work. We're talking things like dishwashers, truck drivers, hotel clerks or whatever you want to call them now behind the front desk, hotel workers, food servers, airport agents, home health aides. These are roles that have always had high turnover because, lower pay, higher stress, less flexibility with hours. Now, this has always been the case. But what's changed? Well, the pandemic spun off a lot of new jobs rather, and they were a lot more attractive because they can get a better job, which is higher pay and better conditions. Okay? So if you think about it, service workers that were already having hard conditions pre-pandemic, then the pandemic hits and retailers couldn't get supplies, spikes and drops in customer demand, crazier hours, fewer employees to work the hours, burnout, angry customers, longer commutes, not safer commutes, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So why are they not coming back? A Pew Research survey asked people who quit their jobs about the reason for leaving. Low pay was first, followed by no opportunities for advancement and feeling disrespected. You have a leadership crisis in the service industries and managers who are leading these lower paid positions and companies like Burger King and McDonald's, and I'm not picking on them, I'm just saying you pick any kind of retail fast food. If these companies aren't showing people an opportunity for a better life, yes, you're starting now as a cook, but 6 months, 12 months from now, you can get out of the kitchen, you'll be here, we'll move you up. And you show people an escalator towards progress and growth, not just financially, but in their life. Then they'll stay with you. But these companies aren't doing this. And the days of treating those workers in these industries like just commodities are over. Amazon's hurting.